Frank Lucas in the building.
What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Will Motivation, back again with another video, and today we are reviewing my Audi RS3. It's a 2023 model. I just picked it up a couple of months ago, and I have been loving this car thus far. Now, in these reviews that I do, I like to start with an exterior review and to remind folks that usually my cars are slightly modified, whether that's something cosmetic or something from a performance perspective. So shout out to Kroger's. I'm in the parking lot of Kroger's doing this review right now. So hopefully people don't look at me like I'm crazy as I walk around and talk about this car. If this is your first time tuning into one of my videos, my name is Will Motivation. This is my channel where I like to share my experiences owning supercars, and in this case my Audi RS3, brand new, still got the paper tag on it. So let's talk about the exterior on this vehicle. Now, probably one of the number one reasons why I purchased this car, and I continue to purchase the Audi S3 line, or it's really the A3 line, but in this case it's an S3 RS3. The reason why I keep buying these cars is because I love the size of the car and the exterior styling. The interior styling is good as well, but I really love the exterior. It took me a while to get used to the grille and the front end of this car, especially the fake vents, but I mean, some of them are real, some of them are fake. It took me a little while to get used to the front end, but after I put this Maxton design front lip on the car, I started to like it a whole lot more. Now I've scraped the lip up already. I don't know how, because it's got a weird angle on the scrapes. So I'm gonna have to probably paint it, sand it, paint it, and wrap it, or get with my buddy Roger to fix that. But anyway, I put a little bit of a exterior style on it with this Maxton front end lip. So that's aftermarket. The door handles are wrapped black. Shout out to Essex Auto Enhancement. That's factory. That little black side splitter, that's factory. But the rear, there's like a rear spoiler on the back. That is Maxton Design. So shout out to Maxton Design. They actually gave me a really good price on those parts. But all of the black details, the gloss black, is actually an exterior package that comes on the RS3. So you can get all this black, the little wing black, the RS3 black, the roof is blacked out. But we did the door handles, and but the mirrors came blacked out as well, as you can see. It's called the Black Optics package. I was sitting here thinking about the name of it. Now, if you're wondering about the color of this paint, which I love, I don't know if you can see the sparkle in it, but it's called Kemora Blue. It's sort of like a Nardo Gray with a tad bit of blue, but the big difference between Nardo Gray and this color is it has a rainbow flake in it, and you only see it on a sunny day. If it's a cloudy day, you will not see the rainbow flake in the Kemora Blue. But this is a Kemora Blue 2023 Audi RS3 with the Black Optics package, and that's the exterior walk around. Love the exterior. I give the exterior a 9.5 out of 10. I think the front end could have been a little bit more polished, and man, that's about it. They should have came with this exterior, like the little details that Maxton Design put on here. But I mean, those parts were so cheap, we're talking about a few $100, that I'm not going to complain about it. Now, while we're on the exterior, let's go ahead and look at the trunk. I just came from Kroger, so had to get some groceries. Well, we got a decent sized trunk, probably enough for travel bags for 3 people. 3 medium-sized travel bags, maybe 2 big ones. but it's a medium to small size trunk. Got your little handle right here. It's got the rear view camera right on the back. This one does not have front camera on it, but it's a pretty small car, so you don't really need that front camera to worry about crashing stuff. But as you can see, I did scrape that front lip. So, but yeah, the exterior styling, man, I give it a 9.5 out of 10. Audi does a really good job. If you compare this to other four-door sedans, I think they have the best four-door sedan styling out of any vehicle manufacturer. So shout out to Audi. All right, so let's talk about the interior of the car. Of course, this is your gas cap. Hit that if you want to fill it up with gas. I will do a how to drive video on this car. Let's talk a little bit about the interior. Now, this interior, spectacular red. This is not a factory option. This is actually aftermarket. It's a Ferrari red leather that I put into the car. But Ferrari red leather with Alcantara inserts. Came out spectacular. I got it done in Chicago. But let me show you how much room I have. I'm 6'2". Getting into the back of the Audi RS3 with the seating position for my size at 6'2". It's not going to be very comfortable back here, but you can close the door. You're just going to have to keep your legs at an angle, or the person in the front seat is going to have to move up. So it's a little cramped back here. It'd be really tight for 3 people. But man, it's survivable. You got your 2 USB-C, the new style USB port connections. You got 2 of them in the back. You got an air vent in the back. You can open or close it. Sunroof. Your lighting controls in the back as well. And you have the middle seat cup holder, which is a nice armrest as well in the back. So it's a comfortable place to be, but not for us tall guys. All right, so let's get into the cockpit of the car. So quick overview. You've got your seating position memory seats. So you got the set button, and you got 1 position and 2 position. Door lock and unlock, open the door. You got your window controls, child locks, mirror controls as well. That does nothing. Left, right, fold the mirrors in or heat the mirrors in the winter. You got your control for opening up your trunk right there. You've got your Bang & Olufsen sound system, which is, I give it a 7 out of 10. It's decent. You got your bolsters on your seat right here. Seat up and down, forward and back. Your seat back tilt. So you hit this to tilt your seat. So it's power seats. Perforated steering wheel. Let's get inside. All right, right there you got your automatic lights on. You got your fog lights. You got your rear fog light right there. All right, let's fire this thing up as we talk about it. All right, digital dash. Close the door, turn the AC on. All right, there's your digital dash right there. Your tachometer on the left with the gas gauge and your gear select position. It's currently in park and in auto. In the center you have a variety of, you can set this to be a variety of things, including the a map. You got your view. Let me put it, now it's in the map mode right there. You can change the view right there with the map. Love that. This is the beauty of the digital dash. I usually don't keep it right there, so I just got the basics in front of me, and then I use my Apple CarPlay here in the center to see where I am on the map and do navigation and that kind of thing. Your automatic wiper controls right here. Steering wheel controls. Like I said, perforated steering wheel, really nice. I'll give the cockpit a 9 out of 10 as well. Things that potentially could be improved is maybe a larger screen, but this is big enough. So these are like luxury things that you could do. I don't really have many gripes except for there was no home link included in the 2023 model. In the 2022, it did have HomeLink. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Here are your controls for your sunroof right here. So it does have a sunroof, as you can see, nice size. Now you've got some really nice space to store like a map or whatever you need to store in the door. You got your nice size glove box right here, plenty of space there. You've got 2 cup holders right here where I got my sunglasses. You've got your cigarette lighter, parking control, which is electronic. You've got 2 USB connections right there with a place to charge your phone. Your controls for traction control, drive select, and parking, all that good stuff. Got a little bit of storage right here. Not too much space. Could be a little bit bigger. I think that would be better. There's your seating right there, the RS. These are custom seats, like I said. Got your Alcantara inserts in the doors, your speakers down below, and of course your vents coming across the top of the dash. Materials, it's got sort of a rubbery material. It's not leather. It's like an upgrade from plastic. It's sort of a soft, rubbery, textured material. It's still kind of hard though. This material here is not carbon fiber. It's more of a weave, like a plastic weave, kind of cheap. There's some plastic in the doors that's a little cheap as well, but to be honest, with this being a sports sedan, I never really thought twice about it. What I really care about is how the car drives and how the car looks, and how the car sounds, of course. So we're going to talk about that now in the driving review of my Audi RS3. Now it is push button to start. Before we get to the driving, let me talk about this thing that I hate the most about the interior. It's 2 things actually. They tried to be fancy and create this touch dial to control your audio. Pressing it once turns the audio on. Pressing this mute, just turn my phone off with that. And then to control the volume, let me zoom in. You can circle around up and down. I hate that. Just put a knob there like you used to have. Why did you change that? They used to have a knob here. You just turn it, press it, left, right for forward and back on the track. And then this thing, what the hell is this? What the hell is this, bro? I hate this thing. To put it in reverse, you push it up like that, flick it back for neutral, and then flick it back again for drive and sport mode. That's sport mode right there, regular drive. And then you push this button to put it in park. I hate that. Give me a shifter like you had before, where I could hold on to it, I could move it back to flick it into sport mode. I could put it over and do up and down for manual mode, because the way they put the paddle shifters on this car, they're stuck to the steering wheel. So if you're in a turn and you want to shift and come out of the corner real fast, you got to try to remember and position yourself to be able to shift these paddle shifters, and it sucks. They should either be stationary, or you should give us a knob that we can control manually the gears, up, plus, or minus, right? Or flick it down in sport mode and just keep it over here, but you got something right there that you can operate. This, however, is a piece of crap. I don't know anybody that likes this. This is the worst thing ever that car manufacturers are doing, is trying to just do nonsense like this. This is stupid. Give us a shifter. Kudos to Ford, because in their Mustang GT, they went back to a shifter when they had a dial here that was super whack. This is whack. This is the worst thing I hate about the interior. This is a second worst thing I hate, and everything else is pretty decent. All right, let's get to driving this car. Now, I do have an aftermarket exhaust on this vehicle, so I'm going to roll down the windows. Okay, so I do have an aftermarket exhaust on this vehicle, so I wanted to roll the windows down so you guys can hear how it sounds when I drive. And we're going to talk about what I like and what I don't like about the new Audi RS3 and the interior. Now, I showed you guys a little bit about the exterior, some of the things I like, you know, about the car and the interior as well, and the features. But man, this car is pretty loaded. But like I said, let's get into the driving characteristics now. One thing that I didn't like is that I actually had to buy a different mirror, rear view mirror, that had HomeLink integrated into it. It's actually a Volkswagen mirror. I'll put in the description of this video the actual mirror, so if there's anybody out there that's buying an RS3, like a 2023 or later, you guys can get this same mirror and have it installed. I had it installed at the dealership. They wired it up. They weren't sure. They didn't know about it. They weren't sure if it was going to work. But I looked on the forums, the Audi, actually AudiWorld.com forums, and I found this tip from a forum user. So shout out to you, to that forum user. I'll definitely shout you out in the message boards and the forums. But I saw a post about HomeLink. Now, I had a 2022 RS3, which is pretty much the same car from a technology standpoint, engine, the latest body style and everything. But my 2022 actually had HomeLink built into the MMI, the multimedia interface, which was really cool, because you could just, as you pulled up closer to your house, it would automatically pop up. You could just hit open the garage, and that was great. But in this one, I had to buy, I think this mirror cost me $175, and to have it installed cost me about $150. So now I can press a button on my HomeLink and close my garage. All right, so let's get to the driving part of this review. I'm gonna start off with the biggest negative about driving this car, and that is when you start the car up and you're driving the car cold, the transmission needs time to warm up, and it needs a lot more time than your regular car, almost any other car that I drive. Like, I got an M4, I've even got some exotics. I got a Ferrari F8, I have a Lamborghini Huracan. I can start those cars up, let the engine warm up for a minute, and then I can put the car in the drive with the, you know, PDK transmission, or my M4 doesn't even have a PDK. Put the car into drive or reverse and just take off like normal. But in the Audi RS3, the latest version, when you put the car into drive or in reverse and the transmission is cold, it's going to feel like the transmission is slipping. And that's something that my previous Audi like S3 and I had a 2018 Audi RS3, none of them did that. None of my previous Audis did that. But in this car, it's the only Audi I've ever owned that does this. You put it in the reverse, put it in the drive. You guys might be able to hear it. I'm gonna drive off, and you'll hear the engine revving at higher RPMs, not engaging drive. Okay, so I was reminded once again, something that I hate about the new Audis is this little gear shifter or gear lever, whatever you want to call it, that you have to hold your fingers like this and you have to change the gears like that. I don't like it. I don't know why Audi decided to do it. Something that I hate. Now, like I said, the car is kind of cold. You're gonna hear, it's gonna feel like it's slipping. Car warms up for about 5 minutes of driving. It will stop that sensation. I don't think it's anything wrong with the car. I just think that the transmission fluid has to warm up. Transmission has to warm up, and then the car will start driving as normal. Now, one of my favorite things about the car is the sound. So I'm gonna let you guys hear it. Sound of this car is pretty spectacular. Alright, so I'm actually in sport mode right now, and the sound is great. Now let me roll the windows up so I can talk to you guys, and then we'll get a little bit more of the sound of the car. Alright. Alright, so let me roll the windows up. Now, alright, so I'm not gonna lie, there's only a couple of things that I don't like about this car. I'm gonna start off with the negatives. Like I said, I don't like the transmission shifter. I hate it. They should go with the normal transmission shifter that feels like a manual shifter, but it's actually, you know, like basically what they had in the older versions of the car. They need to go back to that. Ford did a good job of listening to their customers and going back to a normal shifter when they went to that rotary dial thing. Hated it. So I hate that. I don't like the fact that you have to warm the transmission up in order to drive it, because it feels like something's wrong with the car. So I don't know if that's something they can fix or not. They should put like a bulletin out to the owners or something about that. Now here's the third thing that I don't like about the driving characteristics of this car, and that is the suspension is still pretty harsh in this car. I've owned a lot of sports cars, and the best suspension that I've ever owned in a sports car has been in a Porsche GT3. I've had two of them. Their suspension is awesome. They need to copy whatever Porsche does and put that in the suspension of the RS3, because it's sporty, but it's also very, very comfortable. In this car, sometimes the suspension, man, it feels way too harsh, even in comfort mode. Like I'm in comfort mode right now, and the suspension is still kind of harsh. It doesn't feel that bad right now, but coming out of some of my other cars, like I even have a Lamborghini Huracan, and the suspension feels better than my Audi RS3. This definitely has the harshest suspension out of all of those cars that I mentioned. So we're running out of the things that I dislike about driving this car, and we're getting into the real reason why I continue to buy S3s and RS3s. Now let's get into the things I like. Yeah, number one, acceleration. I was actually happy with the Audi S3, but I am sort of a car nut. I like fast cars. So the RS3 is faster than the S3. The acceleration is really, really good. Really, really good, man. It's I mean, the platform is also really good for if you like to mod your cars. I'm not going to mod this car because I can play with some of my other cars to mod, and I don't want to lose my warranty, and I want to have fun with the car, enjoy it. It's fast enough for a daily driver, and this is my daily driver. But number one thing I like about driving this car is feeling the acceleration when I floor it. Now the flip side of that, that's sort of a con for this car, is the acceleration feels really weak if you're not in sport mode, plain and simple, or paddle shifting. If you just put it in regular drive mode, like in comfort mode, the acceleration feels really weak. Feels like a 4-cylinder or 3-cylinder or something. You got to kind of put the pedal down really hard in order for the engine to respond, and it's not, the throttle is not as responsive as some other cars that I own. But once you put the throttle down, the car does take off, and it does drive really good. All right, so just be warned that the throttle response is not the best, especially if you're in regular drive mode. Right now I'm in sport mode. Now if I put it in regular drive, by flipping this little puny shifter down, if I flip it in regular drive mode, it's going to be super, super conservative on the gear selection. It's going to put you in as far down the gears as possible to give you better gas mileage and to drive smooth. but I mean, it makes the car feel really weak. But one of the things I do like, this awesome engine. It's a 5-cylinder engine. Most people that watch this, you know about the RS3, but for those of you that don't, it's a really unique platform. It's one of the only, if not the only, 5-cylinder engine on the market right now. And people like to say that the engine is half of a Huracan engine, a Lamborghini Huracan engine, which technically it is. Volkswagen Group owns Lamborghini, so they make the engine for that V10, and the sound. So that's like the number 2 thing. The acceleration is number 1. Number 2 is the sound. The car sounds awesome. Let me put it back in sport mode. I got a car in front of me, but if I were to approach it, acceleration is good, the sound is good, and it does actually sound, it has the tone of a Huracan. I own a Huracan, so I'm not like trying to exaggerate and have wishful thinking that, oh, I wish I had a Lamborghini Huracan, so my RS5 or my RS3 is a replacement. No, this actually really does sound like a Huracan. I drive a Huracan every weekend. I get in my Huracan and have fun. And this car actually does have a similar tone, and it's fair to say it sounds like a Lamborghini Huracan. So that's another thing that I like about the RS3 is the sound. Now, another thing that I like about driving the RS3, and it's the number 1 reason why it's my daily driver, is the size of the car. So you can see from the outside the size of the car, but from the inside, when you drive this car, it has really good visibility, and it has the perfect size for a daily driver, because I don't have to worry wherever I decide to go in this car. I don't have to worry if the car is going to fit into the parking spaces or not. I can just drive this car, I can relax, don't have to worry about it. I know wherever I go, I'm going to be able to find a parking spot, and the car is not so wide that I have to worry about people dinging my doors or anything like that. The car has an excellent size to it, and it's one of the number 1 reasons why I stay with this platform. I've gone up to the RS5, I've gone up to the S6 in size. RS5 had a good size as well. The S6 for me was a little bit too big for a daily. I felt like I was driving sort of like driving a boat, but this car feels really sporty. It's a sedan, it's got 4 doors. Even though it's small, I still can get grown adults in the back seat. I've done it on road trips as well, and the car drives really good. You know, for its size, the amount of power that it has, feels like a sports car. So there it is, folks. Hope you guys enjoyed this review of my brand new 2023 Audi RS3 in Kemora Gray with my custom Ferrari red interior. I enjoyed making the review. If you guys like these kind of things, you know, car videos, car content, feel free to subscribe to my channel and hit that thumbs up or that like button for me. I really appreciate it. And stay tuned for more car reviews, car content, and also motivational content and educational content on how to get it. All right, this is me, Will Motivation, signing out. See you guys in the next video. Peace.
It's the one and only Floyd Money Mayweather. I'm here to tell you guys to go to Will Motivation. The exotic cars is crazy. I've been watching this show for a little while now, and it's growing. But we need everybody else to subscribe to Will Motivation and support Will. I'm supporting them. You do the same.